On this episode of Formula World, Hamilton 5-place grid penalty. Vettel, Mercedes pace a one-off. Ocon, Perez clash inevitable. Ricciardo announces retirement sarcastically. First up on Formula World, Hamilton 5-place grid penalty. Lewis Hamilton is set to receive a 5-place grid penalty for an unscheduled gearbox change. This means he will not be starting from pole position regardless of his performance in qualifying. Both Lewis and Mercedes had known about this since earlier in the week. An official report from the FIA reads as follows. Hamilton did finish the race in Baku, and this gearbox change was before the 6 consecutive events expired. As this is not in compliance with Article 23.5A of the 2017 Formula 1 sporting regulations, I am referring this matter to the stewards for their consideration. This comes off the back of former F1 driver Mark Webber stating that he believes drivers shouldn't be punished for team issues. Webber thinks that the team should take the penalty and not the driver to keep the races entertaining. I don't want any penalties for a driver that's had nothing to do with it. It's hard enough to get the quality at the front of the grid as it is, let alone having guys diluted down the back through no reason of their own. Find a way that you don't hurt the driver, constructors' points, whatever. There have been so many ridiculous penalties over the last 5 years that the driver has had nothing to do with, and it's had a big impact on how the weekend would have been in terms of entertainment. During the press conference on Thursday, Hamilton shared his opinion on Webber's comments, and by this stage he was aware of his own penalty. I understand his point, but I imagine it is difficult to implement that. You're a team. If a driver makes a mistake, the team loses points. Ultimately, if it's a team, collective mistake, or when reliability hits, it hits you all together. And also, if you have an engine issue and you get a brand new one and you don't take a penalty, you gain an advantage on power quite often. I don't know. Perhaps there's a way they could do it. Vettel, Mercedes pace a one-off. Championship leader Sebastian Vettel believes that Mercedes' pace in Baku wasn't indicative of a gap opening up between themselves and Ferrari, stating that it was merely a once-off. Baku, I think, was a one-off in many ways. Sunday was okay, and generally Sundays have been okay. Here I haven't seen much yet, but it looks close. It's a short track, so you'd imagine it would be close. I think Mercedes is the favourite. They seemed very quick no matter when they went out today. But we'll see what happens. However, many people have been speculating that the lack of relative pace from Ferrari is due to the FIA clamping down on the burning oil for fuel regulations recently. One such pundit is Red Bull boss Christian Horner, who alluded to the fact that somebody who jumped ship from Ferrari tipped off Mercedes that the Italian team may have been pushing the boundaries a bit too much. There is someone who is now with the silver team that came from the red team and knew what to look for. Ocon Perez clash inevitable. Things have been a bit heated at the pink outfit over the last few weeks, with the feud seeming to come to a peak during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix when Esteban Ocon clashed with Sergio Perez. But Force India Deputy Team Principal Bob Fernley says that such an event was inevitable. I think it was inevitable, the Baku incident. We've got an incredibly talented established driver, and we've got an incredibly talented young pretender. It was inevitable that we were going to get a clash there at some point. It came when it came, and it shows how competitive they both are. What we need from them going forward is to just respect each other and make sure they don't make contact with each other in a way that could be deemed one of their faults. All we're looking for is respect. We have a very clear policy in Force India where the lead driver gets preference, so from my side, we let them race. Ricciardo announces retirement sarcastically. Daniel Ricciardo has sarcastically announced his retirement from Formula 1 after achieving his goal of winning 5 Grand Prix. The Australian driver, who is known for his antics and dry humour, was obviously joking, but delivered the news with a straight face before having a chuckle with the media.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I always said I want to win 5 races and retire, so I'm probably not going to compete this weekend. I think I'm done. So it's changed pretty dramatically, my position in the sport. Beyond that, for the team, I guess, well, yeah, they've got to find another driver. And but also, you know, okay, there's the stress of finding someone else, but then it's also a big confidence boost. You know, they got to win before the summer break, so it's been good.
Should drivers be penalised for car issues? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.